presentation. Colleagues, I see you are in the room. Just want to make sure that, okay, I see Dr. Kimera. Okay, both are actually presenters. That's great. We do have your presentation backed up if you'd like to. Okay, you're sharing. Perfect. The floor is yours. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good afternoon, FODES attendees. Thank you for joining the session. Today, my colleague Kimera and I will be presenting our study titled The Ethical Integration of Artificial Intelligence in Program Design and the Implications for Higher Education. The study explores the perceptions, awareness, and preparedness of quality assurance managers and accreditation specialists in evaluating the ethical implications of artificial intelligence integration within program design processes. We'd like to clarify that this research represents our own independent work. It does not reflect the official views, positions, or policies of the CHE. The findings and perspectives we share are based solely on our study and analysis. Artificial intelligence is being integrated into higher education curricula at a pace we've never seen before. It's transforming how we design, deliver, and assess learning. While the opportunities are exciting, artificial intelligence also introduces serious ethical concerns. Questions around transparency, fairness, data privacy, academic integrity, and the responsible use of AI are fast becoming central to the educational quality. This makes it critical to examine how institutions and accrediting bodies are responding to these challenges. The challenge is that accreditation processes have not fully caught up with the ethical implications of AI. Institutions are experimenting with AI tools, and some are embedding them into program application submissions. Yet there's limited clarity on how these developments are evaluated for ethical alignment. Presently, accreditation criteria do not address AI ethics explicitly. This creates a gap. While programs evolve quickly, the frameworks used to assure their quality lag behind. Our study sought to explore this gap by focusing on two key stakeholder groups, the quality assurance managers and accreditation specialists who evaluate program submissions. Specifically, we sought to understand their awareness and level of preparedness to evaluate the ethical implications of integrating AI into program design. To establish a foundational conceptual framework, it's imperative to move beyond a simplistic view of AI as mere automation. The scholarly literature defines AI in this context as computational systems capable of performing cognitive functions such as reasoning, adaptive problem solving, and complex decision making that have traditionally required human intelligence. Its applications are pervasive across the academic ecosystem, operationalized in adaptive learning platforms, data-informed curriculum development, and administrative automation. Critically, literature positions AI not as a neutral tool, but as a transformative strategic force that is actively reconstituting pedagogical delivery and institutional management. This reconceptualization necessitates a commensurately robust ethical and evaluative framework to guide its integration. The academic literature further presents a distinctly dichotomous narrative. On one hand, the promissory discourse highlights significant opportunities for efficiency, personalization, and data-informed decision-making. Conversely, a robust critical discourse, exemplified by scholars like Ruha Benjamin, warns of profound risks. These include the systematic hardening of algorithmic bias, the potential erosion of academic integrity, and deeper epistemological concerns about the devaluation of professional educator judgment. This tension is not merely a debate, but highlights a significant governance gap between technological adoption and ethical oversight. The cautions crystallize into a set of discrete, empirically grounded ethical challenges. For instance, the problem of algorithmic opacity or the black box phenomenon raises fundamental questions about transparency and the ability to audit automated decisions. Similarly, The risk of representational bias in training data can lead to discriminatory outcomes, directly undermining equity and inclusion mandates. Furthermore, the diffuse nature of AI systems creates significant ambiguity in the attribution of liability when error does occur. It's crucial to understand that these are not merely abstract philosophical dilemmas. They represent tangible operational risks with profound epistemological and practical consequences, challenging the very principles of quality, fairness, and accountability that accreditation frameworks are designed to uphold. Colleagues, I'll now hand over to Kimera, who will take you through the rest of this presentation.
Thank you, Sandhya. Am I audible?
Yes, Kimera.
Thank you. The literature review confirms the problem outlined in our introduction, that technological adoption of AI is happening faster than our ethical and regulatory frameworks can keep up. Our theoretical foundation is built on two key pillars. First, the UNESCO's principles give us a universal language and set of goals of what ethical AI should look like. And second, the Responsible Research and Innovation Framework provides a process of how we can achieve this, urging us to be anticipatory and inclusive. Together, these frameworks position accreditation not just as a stamp of approval, but as a dynamic process that can and should steer the responsible integration of AI in higher education. We conducted a cross-sectional online survey targeting quality assurance officers and accreditation specialists. The survey captured qualitative insights into three areas: their familiarity with AI ethics, their ethical experience in evaluating programs with AI elements, and their perceptions of whether current accreditation frameworks provide adequate tools and criteria for such evaluations. The findings revealed a critical distinction between theoretical knowledge and practical awareness. While an overwhelming majority are familiar with the concept of AI ethics, their awareness of how AI is actually being used at their institution is much more mixed. The qualitative data shows this gap clearly. People are aware of AI being used to generate learning outcomes or entire programs, but they're deeply concerned about the how. Is it creating misaligned or duplicate content? Is it pulling from non-contextual international data? This tells us that awareness is not just about knowing AI is there, understanding its specific contextual application and outputs. The data on preparedness is perhaps the most alarming. There's a clear confidence crisis, with more than a third of respondents not feeling confident in their evaluation abilities. This is directly linked to a severe training deficit. The qualitative responses paint a vivid picture of the challenges. Reviewers feel they are chasing a moving target. They lack the tools to see how AI made a decision and fear inherent bias. Their plea is for concrete, practical upskilling, not just theoretical concepts, but real training on how to spot issues and what to do about them. Respondents are sending a clear message to policymakers. The current guidance is not enough. There is a powerful consensus that voluntary guidelines are insufficient and that enforceable standards are necessary. The qualitative recommendations are incredibly consistent. They want a top-down approach with national policies from accreditation bodies, coupled with a bottom-up implementation requiring institutions to have clear, contextual AI governance policies. Underpinning all of this is a strong emphasis on the human in the loop, the firm belief that AI should assist, not replace, human expertise and ethical judgment in high-stake decisions like accreditation. There are 4 key recommendations for different stakeholders to strengthen ethical AI practices within higher education and quality assurance. Firstly, accreditation bodies play a critical role in setting the tone for responsible AI use. They should develop and integrate explicit AI ethics standards within their existing quality assurance frameworks. This ensures that ethical considerations are not an afterthought, but a core component of program evaluation and approval. For institutions, there's a need to take ownership of AI governance by developing institutional AI ethics and governance policies. These should be made part of accreditation requirements to ensure accountability and consistency in how AI tools and data are used in teaching, learning, and assessment. For professional development, evaluators and quality assurance professionals need to be well equipped to engage with AI-related issues. This requires targeted practical training in AI literacy and ethics and assessment techniques to build the capacity needed for responsible evaluation and decision-making. Finally, at the policy level, there's a need to foster a sector-wide code of practice that reflects local and cultural values, such as Ubuntu and social justice. This will help us ensure that AI adoption in higher education is not only ethical, but also contextually relevant and equitable. In conclusion, we are facing an ethics gap that must be closed to safeguard the future of higher education. We cannot afford to have our educational programs designed by systems we do not know how to ethically evaluate. Therefore, we propose a multi-level response. Accreditation bodies must lead by updating their frameworks. Institutions must be held accountable for their own AI use. Also, critically, we must invest in the people in the front lines, the accreditation panels and quality officers, by giving them the training and tools they desperately need. By taking these steps, we can harness the benefits of AI while ensuring our higher education system remains equitable, transparent, and accountable. As a follow-up to this study, we're now exploring AI integration and ethical awareness in instructional and learning design practice. So in this study, we explored the perspectives of evaluators who reviewed programs submitted for accreditation. We now aim to shift the focus and examine the perspectives of those involved in designing programs for the submission of accreditation. Kindly scan the link on the screen or click on the link in the chat that I'll provide shortly to respond to our short questionnaire. Your input will help us better understand the sectoral needs around AI integration. Thank you, colleagues. We are now open for questions.
Colleagues, we have 8 minutes to engage before our 5-minute break. And then the next session, which is going to be moderated by Anki. Thank you very much, Dr. Moodley and Dr. Maharaj. Just something that I noted was it was great to hear about the call for a top-down approach to work through all the misalignments that we've been examining from the beginning of day one of FODIS, and most recently highlighted in Kunzile and Donald's research. So that was very interesting. It seems like we are all scattered and approaching this from different angles, and I guess now it is time to have some sort of framework. But it has also been mentioned in one of the previous sessions that there would still be room for flexibility and contextualization. So that was great to hear. Thank you for the link to the Google form. Colleagues, any questions and comments? Let's engage while we wait for the next session to start. I'll now leave you in the safe hands of Anki, who will moderate the next sessions with IPFI, and I just have to jump into